Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Let's get right into our team coverage of these LA fires. Meteorologist Angie Lassman is tracking the winds. We also have NBC News national climate reporter Chase Kane standing by for us.
But first, let's go to NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz with the latest on the Palisades fire.
Well, hey there, I've never experienced anything or seen anything like what's unfolding in LA right now. This is a volatile, chaotic situation here. We're in Malibu, where the Palisades fire winds pushed it overnight north on the Pacific Coast Highway. And right now in Malibu, multiple beachfront properties are engulfed in flames. Not just this area, but up and down the PCH. We're seeing this of these beautiful homes just burning, these massive plumes of smoke. Right now, there's some firefighters here, but they're not even attempting to put out these flames. That is because they are so overwhelmed right now with multiple fires burning across the region, fueled by these hurricane-force winds. Thousands of people are evacuated right now from this Palisades fire and other fires burning east in the LA region as well. In fact, in the Altadena, Pasadena area, there's dramatic video showing folks, senior elderly patients being evacuated from a senior center. There's a Jewish center that's up in flames there, and all of this still continuing to unfold. It's hard to know really what the magnitude of this is until the sun comes up. And the scary part is that we are still in the middle of this wind event, with the winds not expected to let up for several hours. Yesterday, we were here when we got ourselves stuck trying to reach the fire area as hundreds of people tried to get out, abandoning their cars to just flee on foot. And then a bulldozer had to come through and push through to get the cars out of the way to create a path. You can just feel these winds right now and see these strong flames. And again, this wind event just getting started. Back to you.
All right, Liz, thank you so much. Stay safe.
NBC News national climate reporter Chase Kane joins us now from the Pacific Palisades with the latest. Chase, we are seeing more evacuation orders, more warnings here in the early hours of this morning. Just tell us, what's the latest? What are some of the scenes that you are seeing?
Joe, we're just a few miles south down the Pacific Coast Highway from where Liz is, and I've covered dozens of wildfires, but it's really difficult to just explain the scope and the feel of this because it does feel apocalyptic. I mean, I know that word may be overused, but it certainly feels that way. I'm going to step out of the way here so you can see you're looking across the Pacific Coast Highway back into Pacific Palisades. This is where Sunset Boulevard intersects the Pacific Coast Highway. And right there on the ridgeline, in just the last 15 minutes or so, this fire has kicked up again. I mean, we've had 30, 40, 50 mile an hour sustained winds. And our NBC News meteorologist, Catherine Prost, have confirmed that overnight we've had a wind gust of 135 miles an hour. I mean, that's a Category 4 hurricane wind speed. So with winds like that, I mean, as Liz pointed out, firefighters just can't do much. There's no containment on this fire. It's burned roughly 3,000 acres. But again, it's hard for them to tell exactly how much area it's burned because this isn't just one combined fire. It's lots of little fires burning all in the same area. And so when you have wind like this, it picks up an ember and it can blow it hundreds of yards away and start an entirely new fire. So that's why the focus here has been on evacuations, getting people out of harm's way in Pacific Palisades. There are dozens of homes and structures that have burned in this area. I mean, you're looking at some of those burning there on the ridgeline. You may even be able to see some of the embers flying through the air. There's also the sound of fire alarms going off in one of these condo buildings here that's just above the Sunset Coast Plaza. So really just continuing to be a difficult situation here for firefighters and certainly for so many folks here in Southern California who are watching their homes, who are watching their lives burn. Savannah and Joe.
Chase, tell us a little bit more about the damage that you're seeing, because as we just heard a resident there describe a few moments ago, they're not necessarily used to seeing a fire like this in this particular part of Los Angeles where it's so densely populated, where these neighborhoods are. Tell us a little bit more about what has burned and how the layout of where you are is impacting how the fires are behaving, like you said, those embers jumping.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously hard to see because it's still dark here, right? But you have these canyons where you have, homes built all along the side of the canyons and the hills, and the roads are kind of winding through. So, as you drive, for instance, up Sunset Boulevard, you might have 2 or 3 homes burning, and then the next home is completely untouched. And so it's very, it's like a patchwork of what has burned and what hasn't burned. It also made it difficult for people to get out because you have these winding 2-lane roads. That's why there was gridlock in both directions, as some people are trying to evacuate this way. Other people may be trying to get to their home to get things out. I mean, just back up Sunset, maybe 100 yards here behind me, that's where there were dozens of cars that were abandoned. I actually had to walk through that yesterday to get down to this spot. At first, firefighters were telling people to stay in their cars, and then once they realized they couldn't control it, they said, no, you got to get out of the car, you got to walk. So you see people walking up the sidewalk, running up the sidewalk, other people trying to get out of their homes, dragging suitcases down the sidewalks, carrying what they could under their arms. I mean, truly just a heartbreaking situation where people didn't even have minutes. They had moments to try and get out of harm's way.
We hear that story so many times, especially as these fires have gotten so much worse in the last 10 years. Chase, I know you're familiar with that. Despite that, I know you've said in your reporting from the scene the last 24 hours, this is the fastest moving fire that you have ever witnessed. Talk about the fact, we're not just talking about the dry conditions, not just the wind, but the topography, how that plays a role in what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, so these Santa Ana winds, that you may hear that term, it's essentially a wind that's originating from inland. So it's a cool, dry wind, and then you can maybe even notice the gust right now as it comes over the mountains and comes down the slope of the mountains, and you have this canyon. It basically accelerates the wind. So that's why you have a sustained wind of 30 or 40 miles an hour, but then as it comes down to these canyons, it just picks up speed and gets even faster, driving these fires. You mentioned dry conditions. It's been more than nearly 9 months since Los Angeles has had significant rainfall. We should have about 4 inches or so for this time of year, because this is typically the time of the year when we're getting rain, but less than 0.2 of an inch of rain. So it's incredibly dry. The humidity is down into the teens, expected to possibly fall into the single digits later today. So the conditions are not looking like they're going to be improving anytime soon, Savannah and Joe, as we get another one of these wind gusts. And, you know, the climate factor of all this is that we have these swings from last winter, a really wet winter, which allowed a lot of this brush to spring up, to now a very dry, very hot winter, which is fueling these massive destructive wildfires, Savannah and Joe.
Chase, when it's as windy as it is right now, are firefighters able to do much? Are they essentially helpless until it does die down?
Yeah, I mean, like you can see them, if you get up close, I mean, you can see them, maybe they try to protect one home, but, you know, it's really like their hands are tied in a sense, because with wind like this, maybe they cut a line, or maybe they're, you know, knocking the fire down with water, but then the next house catches on fire. So, you know, their efforts are really focused, and it's difficult for them to do much. That's why there's 0% containment on the Palisades fire. I believe there's no containment on any of these 3 major fires that are burning across the Los Angeles area.
All right, Chase, you and your team, please continue to stay safe.
I appreciate your reporting. Well, for the latest updates on what to expect from these wind-driven wildfires hitting the Los Angeles area, also, we've got harsh winter weather around the country. Let's talk to meteorologist Angie Lassman.
Angie, I just can't believe our climate unit saying 135-mile-an-hour gust of wind. That is, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and that came from Mammoth Mountain. Really impressive, guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get more reports like that, at least 100 miles per hour here as we get through the rest of the morning hours. This is kind of going to be the worst of the winds. I say worst because it still isn't going to really weaken until we get way into the rest of the week and into potentially the weekend. But 90+ mile per hour winds are what we're expecting, at least through the first half of the day today out in Southern California. Let's get you those alerts. 19 million. This has not changed up and down Southern California. Of course, those red flag warnings stay in effect. Here's kind of the lay of the land. We've got the Hearst fire. You heard a lot about this from Chase and Liz. Eaton fire, as well as the Palisades fire. Notice what's popping up on our radar imagery. Those are particulates. That is the smoke plume basically being detected on the Doppler radar. That just tells you how intense these fires are. Of course, we know this. You can see the winds anywhere from 45 to 95 miles per hour across this region, the Palisades, which we've talked so much about. And this is going to be one of our concerns here going through at least the rest of the day today. The winds up to 100 miles per hour, those single-digit humidity values, relative humidity into the single digits in a situation like this with winds where they are on top of really dry conditions and dealing with drought, of course, means explosive fire growth across this region. So it doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot in the way of improvement. Instead, this likely will be the worst day for winds across this region. So expect the extreme fire behavior. We're looking at an extreme risk across this region of California. So it does include Glendale, Santa Clarita, out towards, of course, the coast, including Malibu, and up towards Oxnard. But notice just how far south the critical risk goes. So this entire region, really extending down to the border, has all of the kind of ingredients that we likely will see to start fires, spark those fires, and then, of course, spread those fires. Now, we've got a couple of things happening. We've got kind of a situation where we've got a high pressure and a low pressure. So much of this region across the Southwest is actually under these wind alerts. We've got 36 million people under the wind alerts. Besides the fire, likely power outages from down power lines, of course, down trees across this region. This is going to be something we see last through the day today. But when you specifically hone in on exactly where we could be talking about wind gusts today, some of these numbers quite impressive. Yes, we've seen at the top of Mammoth Mountain 135-mile-per-hour gusts, but in LA, 63 miles per hour, Simi Valley into the 70s, Malibu, the same kind of thing. And you look a little farther to the south, we've got Mission Viejo in the 50s. We've got 94-mile-per-hour wind gust potential for Falling Spring. So the winds, again, as we get through the day today, going to continue to be quite impressive. Now, Chase mentioned that we really are in need of rain across this region. Look at where we size up compared to what we should be. So since October 1st, rainfall is just 10% of what we normally get across Southern California. So if you look at Los Angeles, 0.16 inches, that's just 3% of where we should be for this time of year into this season. You can see Camarillo, the same kind of situation, 1% for Palmdale. So we're looking at really dry conditions across this area, even less for Irvine and Riverside, where we've basically haven't even received a tenth of an inch. So we've got the wind, of course, the low humidity, and those dry conditions continuing to fuel those dangerous conditions out west. Meanwhile, remember I said there's a high and a low pressure system that's kind of leaving us with those really strong Santa Ana winds? That low pressure, it's going to be on the move, and it's going to be partially responsible for the winter weather that we see across parts of the South. So get ready if you live in this area. We've got 35 million people under winter alerts, and specifically tomorrow, you'll likely see a whole lot of difficulty when it comes to that morning rush across Dallas. Notice the snow, the icy conditions that we're going to see for northern portions of Texas. I wouldn't be surprised if this cripples travel in this region. You can see parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, all dealing with this wintry mess. Shreveport, you'll see some of the icy conditions as well. And then farther south, of course, it's the rain. It's not nothing. We'll see some impressive amounts of rain as well. But the wintry weather going to cause a whole lot of problems when it comes to road and air travel here in the coming days. By the time we get to Friday, this is 7 p.m., notice Atlanta. We'll see the difficult kind of conditions on the roads for folks there with the wintry mix moving into that region. Of course, more of the rain across farther portions south. And then the Tennessee Valley and the Appalachians, that's where the heaviest of the snow will kind of set up as we roll into the weekend. It is, of course, on the move. So we'll see that continuing to work its way east. Expect light to maybe moderate snow for the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. At this time, doesn't look like we'll be expecting a nor'easter, but again, we'll still see some impacts when it comes to plans likely as we get into your Saturday, and those rain showers and the thunderstorms stay with us across parts of the South. So we've got kind of a multi-impact event that will shape up here over the next couple of days. When it comes to the amounts, I think highest amounts centered from Texas basically to parts of Mississippi for our rainfall, upwards of maybe 4 or 5 inches. So localized flooding not out of the question. The icing, these are the spots that are going to see potentially up to maybe a tenth of an inch. I think will be isolated spots, maybe 1/4 of an inch in some locations. Either way, the power outages from this, the dangerous travel, places like Dallas, Little Rock, and extending to Atlanta and Charlotte, all on the table over the coming days. The snowfall amounts, highest totals are going to be centered from Texas to Tennessee. And you can see kind of the bullseye. That's that brighter pink. That's about 8 inches. That's centered from basically northern Texas into central portions of Arkansas. Of course, guys, these are locations that don't see a whole lot of snow. So this is going to be a situation that has significant travel impacts likely over the coming days. And it'll be, of course, something to watch on top of the dangerous fire conditions that are happening out west.
Geez, fire and ice across the country. Angie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Our coverage of the wildfires will, of course, continue throughout the morning.
Yeah, let's join our NBC affiliate in Los Angeles, KNBC, in their intrepid coverage of these wildfires that are devastating Southern California.
But that's one of the things, is you just don't know what's on the other side of these walls. And look at this firefighter. He has not given up.
He's not going to give up.
Just feet away from these flames.
And he
is going to make sure he...
Sorry, Alex. So we saw, he's there. We saw another firefighter come up trying to help give him a little bit more slack on his hose. But it's just one guy.
It is, Lynette, and there's other resources out here, but everybody's taking a house. There's like 2 or 3 guys that are spread out because they're trying to stay ahead of the flames. Now, here comes another firefighter to try to help him out, and here comes CAL FIRE coming into the scene as well. This is a big mutual aid. Riverside County Fire Department just pulled in here. So there was a call on the radio just a short time ago before you guys came to me that basically said, we need extra help out here, and these guys started mobilizing and moving into the neighborhood. But look, you can see this. This is what these firefighters do. Just a moment ago, this thing was flaming. This guy was not going to give up. I don't know his name, but this firefighter stood his ground, and he was just shielding himself with that palm tree. And look at this. He was able, as of now, to save this home right here.
He's doing it. He is doing it. Amazing work. Thank you so much for showing us this firefight. Just one person there with the support of his colleagues in the background. He did exactly what he set out to do, and we watched it happen live here on Today in LA. Thank you so much. We're going to stay on your pictures, Alex, so stay with us. But we have on the phone Margaret Stewart with the LA City Fire Department. Margaret, thank you for talking with us. I know you've been on with us throughout the last 18 hours, back and forth. What is the latest this morning? How bad is it, and how much worse do you expect it to get?
We don't have an update in acreage. We won't be able to do that until our aircraft can get up to do a surveillance. So we know it's grown, but we don't have a number. As anticipated, the winds were worse through the night. That was the forecast, and the winds are going to continue. So we're, by no means are we we're still in the growth phase. We don't have any containment. It's not possible to do so on the ground. As your viewers have been watching, this is the kind of battle that all of our firefighters are in right now, defending and saving every home that they can. There's going to be a lot of homes that they can't.
Mm-hmm. Margaret, have you heard of any injuries so far? And I know that it's still very early on and we're still in the midst of this, but do you have any idea at all of how many homes might have been lost?
In terms of injuries, at the Hearst fire, we fortunately do not have any injuries reported at this time. At the Palisades fire, as we've discussed earlier, we had one firefighter, LAFD firefighter, that sustained a serious head injury, and she was transported to the trauma center. We don't have an update. And there were multiple civilians that sustained burn injuries, and I don't have a further update on that either. And I'm sorry, what was the second half of your question?
I know it's still early and you're worried just about putting the fires out, but is there any ballpark rough number regarding how many homes have been lost so far?
No, unfortunately we know it's going to be a big number, but we're not able to do that kind of an assessment right now.
Right.
Margaret, I know you mentioned that once you get some air support, you're going to be able to get a better gauge, and once the sun comes up, about exactly what's happened. Let's talk about the winds and how that has impacted being able to fight this fire from the air.
So our aircraft have been grounded due to the severe winds. When they're in excess of approximately 55 miles per hour, everything is grounded. So they're continually checking the weather. We'll have another check at 6:30 to 7 is going to be a full evaluation. If they're able to get up, then they will, but we have to do it based on the wind conditions.
Right. How long have they been grounded?
I don't have, I think it was around 8 p.m., somewhere in that hour. Don't quote me exactly, but it was somewhere around that time.
So we were talking with our meteorologist, Margaret, and they said that the winds are probably going to stay fairly strong through maybe right around 6 o'clock this evening. In your mind, what would be the best case scenario in terms of getting some air support on this fire?
Well, we need the wind's cooperation. That's the only way we're going to be able to get air support. The fixed wing have a lower, or a higher threshold, I should say. They're able to fly, with higher winds. I don't have that exact number. We don't fly fixed wing, but our rotary aircraft, right now they're just not able to fly. And unfortunately, the wind forecast isn't looking too good through the morning. So I don't have a time when we expect to be able to put rotary in. But fixed wing will hopefully be able to fly.
Yeah, I think you just have to check almost hour by hour.
Hour by hour, because it keeps changing.
Correct.
Margaret, we just watched one firefighter with, his hose just battling just ferocious flames, and he was not willing to give up. It was a blowtorch in his face. We're just watching these heroic efforts by firefighters, but there's just not enough firefighters to go around. Can you talk about, can you give us some numbers in terms of how many firefighters do you have on the ground? What kind of resources are we looking at to kind of let people know that even if there's not a fire truck on your street, there are firefighters out there doing tremendous work?
There are. I mean, I can't say it any more than that. We've got, over 400 LAFD firefighters, in addition to all of our assisting agencies that provided immediate mutual aid. And CAL FIRE is the state fire service that organizes strike teams from out of the area that, just like we send strike teams up north when there's fires, they'll bring additional resources in. And we have, as I mentioned earlier, we can't save every home. We need what we call defensible space, and that's, space brush cleared around homes or homes that aren't inside, tight with vegetation. And as you saw that firefighter, we'll make the stand and we'll do our utmost. We ask for all residents' cooperation. If you're in the evacuation zone, especially Palisades, you should be gone. There should be no one left in that zone. Right. Up in the Hearst fire, the warning zone, if you look at our map on LAFD.org, if you click on the Hearst fire, you'll see that we have an evacuation warning area. So that's the area southwest of the 5 into the Granada Hills North community. We need those people to be prepared. We need them to have a go bag at the door, their vehicles in the driveway pointing out. They need to have any medications, have their cell phones charged, and be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice.
Before we let you go, Margaret, I just have to ask you, there have been some people who have talked about either water shortage or water pressure issues in this firefight. Can you give us any details about that?
We've heard those stories as well. We don't have any specific examples, nor do we have any further details on that.
Right, Margaret Stewart with LA Fire. Thank you so much for everything that you and your teammates are doing right now. We really appreciate it, and we know it's going to be a long, busy day ahead. We want to bring in meteorologist Belen de Leon right now. Belen, you were telling us yesterday, you were predicting that this would be the worst of it in terms of the wind gusts and just those visuals that we saw of the flames and the embers going sideways right into those firefighters' faces. Just powerful imagery and very scary to see.
Yeah, if any fires were to start, they would quickly spread, they would grow out of control, and unfortunately, this is what happened. And we're still under this red flag warning. These winds are not going to back off, especially for the first half of the day. Let me show you what's happening out towards the Eaton fire area, because you've been seeing the images from our photographers out on the scene and how these winds are blowing and just fanning the flames and also causing these embers to spread and travel long distances and cause spot fires. So through the Eaton Canyon Park area, those images that we saw from Alex, those are gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And check this out, the sustained winds up to 20 miles, close to 30 miles per hour. Humidity right now down to the 20s. And the reporting stations around there pretty much showing those strong gusts, showing that low humidity. So an area that, as we went into yesterday, we identified as being one of those critical areas that was the most vulnerable for the growth of fires. Now, here's the other fire, the huge fire that we're watching. This is the Palisades fire. Also some pretty strong gusts out here, out towards the Santa Monica Mountains reporting station out there. Gusts close to 60 miles per hour. But look at that sustained wind, 46 miles per hour. The winds over in Santa Monica gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. And look at that humidity down to the single digits. So it's the combination of all of these things, amigos, these really strong winds, the low humidity, very low humidity, and also the very dry vegetation that is making this a particularly dangerous situation. That's the third time that the National Weather Service has used this wording so far this season. The first time was in November, then in December. You guys know we had 2 big fires, and now you see these images right next to me. This is another very critical fire that is burning across the area. 3 fires that are burning across our area. Take a look at the gusts that are currently going through our area. The strongest ones over the LA Ventura County mountains, but we've got some strong winds blowing through the San Fernando Valley, through the Inland Empire, and over into Orange County. And check out the humidity right now in the teens, in the 20s, but expected to drop in the single digits. And here you see those images from the Eaton fire, our typical beautiful shot of Mount Wilson showing the city lights, but right now it is blazing. We even see another fire out there in the distance. So the worst of the winds are going to be throughout the morning, really not seeing those winds ease up until we head into late this afternoon and evening. And by the way, this morning you are going to see some big travel issues when it comes to these fires. Here's Robin with more.
Absolutely. Travel issues, closures. We also have mass transit delays. So I want to talk a little bit about Metro because it's being impacted by this wind event as well. Starting with the A line. For those of you who normally take the A line, expect delays this morning because the winds have damaged the overhead wires. There's also problems with debris on the track. So they have bus shuttles in place for passengers as an alternate. That's between the Southwest Museum and the Fillmore station. So that's the A line. Because of the Hearst fire that's burning near Sylmar, lines 224 and 260 is being detoured away from the area. They want to keep the buses away from that stretch, and that's being diverted over to Foothill and Glen Oaks. And if you're taking the 601 and you normally travel through the valley, there's problem with debris and wind in that area as well. So with that debris on the tracks, it's causing delays, and they're diverting those buses over to Irwin and Victory. So once again, delays throughout Metro, all related to the weather and the fires. This is a new fire that popped up in the San Fernando area, North 5, from Brand all the way up to San Fernando Road, all lanes closed. It's because of a fire that's burning on the shoulder. There's lots of smoke that's drifting across the 5 as well, so reduced visibility can be expected, but you can't use it right now. Still waiting for the all clear, but it's been backing up traffic to the 118. I take San Fernando Road instead of using the 5 because you're going to be stuck in that closure. Once again, that is completely separate from the Hearst fire that we're tracking in Sylmar. That's also blowing smoke across the 5, especially as you're leaving the Newhall Pass, or I should say heading into or out of the Newhall Pass, the 5, the 14, the 210. You can see that smoke in the area. You can see the huge glow on the hillside as well coming from the Hearst fire, even if you're leaving Santa Clarita Stevenson Ranch. Now, east and west 210 completely blocked off from the 5 all the way over to Roxford as they're battling that fire. They have the lanes closed, and then if you come from the 5, north or south, you cannot connect to the eastbound side of the 210. Once again, that's because of the Hearst fire. So the 5 is open, the connectors are closed, the 210 is closed in both directions. The 118 is your best detour. We've had problems in Pasadena with downed trees. That's going to be an issue just about everywhere, so please be on the lookout. I drove through several downed trees, bushes, debris in the road this morning, so you really have to be careful. You have to be driving at a reduced speed. West 210 at Fair Oaks Avenue here in Pasadena, the off-ramp blocked by a downed tree, so drivers are trying to work their way around that area. And I'll give you one more. The Inland Empire and Big Rigs are having a tough time this morning. I've had a number of overturned big rigs here on the 215 and the 210, just one after the other. East 210 at the 15, there is a truck that is dangling from the overpass. It was involved in a crash there. Another vehicle involved here ran off the road, exploded, and started a brush fire. So once again, that's the 210 at the 15. I'll stay on top of all these issues. Don't drive if you don't have to, but if you do, leave early and plan ahead. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
Robin, thank you. It is just approaching 4:30 right now. You are watching continuing coverage, wall-to-wall coverage of this situation that we've been following since basically 11 a.m. yesterday morning, and we will continue. We want to let you know about the evacuations. 30,000 people have been evacuated from the Palisades area. That is the biggest fire that is going right now.
Yeah, so we zoom into that. And again, we have crews out there right now. We'll be checking in with them shortly. The really big concern right now, what we've shown you over the last hour and a half or so, has been at the Eaton fire. That's in the Altadena, Pasadena area. That has grown to at least 1,000 acres in size, and we've just seen home after home after home burn. As we give you an idea of where that is, and you have evacuation warnings and orders there, though some people are deciding to stay behind to try to fight this.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.